Subaru Canada has invited me on a 3-day road trip. Yesterday we started in Vancouver, headed up past Whistler here to Pemberton, and then today we're heading into the mountains with two of their sporty cars, the BRZ sports car and the WRX sedan. This video's about the WRX.
The changes for 2016 is actually, we have a brand new audio system. So although it was a full model change in 2015, in 2016 we installed a brand new audio system which is now a 6.2 touchscreen color display, and it also has standard satellite radio, which it didn't have last year. There's a nice big backup camera on all models that appears on that screen. Also, there's a one-touch turn signal, so that's the kind of thing where you hit the signal stock, it flashes 3 times. There's some different silver trim we've put on the interior, and as well something called welcome lighting, which is when you unlock your car, you can set a timer for when the lights come on or shut off, for example. In addition, we've added something we call SRVD, which is Subaru Rear Side Vehicle Detection. That's on the Sport and the Sport Tech models. That's basically your blind spot detection, a lane change assist that can see fast approaching vehicles. So imagine you're going 100 and there's a police car going 140 next to you, like in the lane next to you. It will light up, way beforehand. And also there's cross traffic alert. So that's just backing up out of a parking spot. It'll tell you which way traffic's coming. And so on top of all that, we've also added on the Sport Tech trim, which is the top of the line WRX, an 18-inch wheels, and those are new, and those also use inverted struts, which typically were only on the STI before.
Now, I did a review of the BRZ, the other car that we got a chance to drive on this trip through British Columbia, and I encourage you to watch that because that's a very, very different car than this WRX. That's a low-slung coupe, not super powerful. It's the kind of car where you drive it and you learn the car. The more you learn it, the better you get. The better you get, the faster you go, and it really rewards the driver with finesse and good skills. The WRX, on the other hand, is a car that rewards the driver. It's kind of the other way around. The car does so much for you. You have all of that grip thanks to all-wheel drive. You even got this sort of braking torque vectoring that happens in the front end. The turbo has so much power from so many different parts of the engine. It has 258 foot-pounds of torque, but the torque comes on at 2,000 RPM. All the way through to 5,200 RPM. So that's a very broad range of torque. When you're driving at high speeds on the highway, you can leave it in a high gear and pass a truck or something effortlessly because it has all that torque. It just pulls away and it does the work once again for the driver. When you get it into the twisty bits like I am now, it really does a fantastic job of hustling you down the road as fast as you can. And there doesn't really seem to be an end to what this car is capable of. Sometimes it understeers. That's pretty common with all-wheel drive cars. You can even turn the traction control off and do a little bit of kind of rally driving. We did some stages of this run on gravel roads, and that's really where a car like this shows its true colors. All of those things that I talked about come together to work perfectly. The torque of the engine is fantastic for pulling out of low-speed corners, and the all-wheel drive system and the gravel just grips the road, and the torque vectoring system, it all just works together perfectly. There's no wonder why people buy these WRXs and then buy another one and tell their friends to buy one, because there's a lot of car here for the money. I tell you what, our deer just ran in front of me there. Hello, deer. Hello, Bambi. For just under $30,000, you get the same engine, you get the same technology. The higher trim packages really are just that, higher trim. The basic goodness of the car is all still here. So for just around $30,000, it's a hell of a lot of car, and there's not much out there that can compete with it. You think about a GTI, that's a front driver. Same with the Focus ST, the all-wheel drive. As I said, the car is really rewarding the driver, doing a lot for you, and it puts a smile on your face every kilometer you get to drive it. Now, are there some things that I'm not crazy about with the WRX? Well, there's no armrest or adjustable armrest here. The speedo's way too busy. It should just be big, simple numbers. They now have this new head unit that is bigger and easier to use on the top trim level, but I find that the bass and treble controls and the audio controls are really not that good. So there's a few things that they could still work on. Some of the materials in here are still a little bit basic, but for $30,000, 268 horsepower all-wheel drive car on these kind of roads, amazing. Watch out, Bambi.
Actually, although we've added all the equipment like all the satellite radio and the new touchscreen audio and everything, we've maintained the price at $29,995. So actually over the years, in the last 10 years, you could say the price has been dropping, and with the 2015 model, we finally got it under 30, and for 16, we've kept it the same way.
Well, our final stop ends after 3 days right here in Kelowna at the airport, and it's going to be tough to say goodbye to the WRX because the more I drove this car, the more I came to appreciate the limits that you can really drive it at. It has so much grip, it does so much for the driver, it has a lot of torque, the power is wonderful and smooth and progressive, and it's a lot of car for under $30,000. I don't think there is a car that can touch it really in this price range, and even the top models are not too expensive for the average consumer. So if you're in the marketplace for a fun car that's practical, you can put a family in it, you can drive it every day, and you can beat it out on the back roads, the WRX should be very high on your list.